Nice rhetoric. But what the heck? Why living fences? In this video, we are going to explore that together. A fixed fence is the brick wall, chain link, these other artificially built fences, while a living fence refers to simply plants that are grown at a boundary close enough to block it up so that they prevent entry or exit. So why choose a living fence? Fences primarily are meant to prevent intruders from trespassing onto the property. But like you would expect for us that have poultry that free range, we would not want those poultry to escape. But that's just one purpose, that's protection. And a fixed fence can be good for that. However, there are many other purposes that we need a fence for, which a fixed fence cannot satisfy. One of these is acting as a windbreak. In my country, every time it rains, trees fall, roofs are carried off houses, and people are left disgruntled and unhappy. It's quite a mess, but this can be prevented simply by planting trees. The trees fall because they are few and cannot withstand alone the force of the wind. But if there were 2 times, 3 times, 10 times more trees, that tree that fell most likely wouldn't have fallen. Our aim is to plant a forest of trees on the boundaries of the land. And these trees are planted initially as poles to barbed wire or to chain link, but eventually will grow into entire trees. So some of the poles will rot out over time like this one, but then others will grow instead, like this one. You could also see here in the corner, one is definitely going to dry out over time, but the other has actually grown into a tree. But when the wind is strong, even these trees can break. So to reinforce the strength of these trees, we grow other shrubs in them, shrubs that can grow long enough to resist the wind. Now, these are very specifically chosen. We grow Calliandra, a plant that can grow to several meters tall, and you can see over here some of the already matured Calliandra. It grows to quite a height. But in addition, we also grow the corn plant. The corn plant can also grow to a tremendous height. And you can see just here a quick illustration of a corn plant next to a very, very long fence. Again, you can see another corn plant that I took just at the roadside next to a signpost. This is in the neighborhood of about 5 meters. That's a really, really high fence. If you constructed a fixed fence of that height, you would struggle to establish its stability. But because these are plants that are growing by themselves, they do the engineering work themselves and create quite a reinforcement without a lot of technicality involved. The hope is, even when the wind is too heavy, it will not be able to overcome the strong windbreak we have at the boundaries. So all the houses, the shelters on the farm, and the coffee on the farm will be sheltered from this strong wind. Thirdly, for forage. Now we are on a farm. We cannot just dedicate land to plant things that do not benefit the animals or the birds that we are rearing. We must feed them. So whatever we plant at the boundary, in one way or another, should provide some sort of food to the animals or to the birds. So the Calliandra is very important forage, and for the people that keep chicken, we know that it's very, very efficient in providing yellow yolk. But for those who keep cattle or dairy animals, I should let you speak for yourselves. You definitely know Calliandra because it increases milk production by about 30%. It's just a wonder crop that every dairy person just wants to have. So Calliandra at the boundary is one of the forage that we do have. In addition, we have basil. Now basil and Calliandra provide forage for the bees. The bees like these plants. Calliandra flowers throughout the year, and so having it at the boundary enables the bees have forage even during the dry season. And basil also does the same for the bees. In addition, basil produces an aroma that is a repellent. It can help to keep some pests away or some other animals like snakes that we may not want on the farm. Now, I'm up country in the village.
and firewood is what we use for fuel. So all these shrubs that we are talking about, the trees, the calyandra and all, they do provide quite an amount of wood throughout the year, which enables us have firewood farm that is more than enough. And finally, the last reason for a living fence is not for you, it's not for me, but it's for 100 years from us, it's for humanity. We farm sustainably so that those that come after us can find an environment that can support the same farming. So there you have it. Think about a living fence. But why these plants?
The answer is coming up in the next video. Subscribe and like.